Coming up on the Suze Orman Show.
Are you bad with money? Chances are, if you are playing the financial blame game. So I want you to hear what I have to say. Also, you currently, according to your expenses, spend $350 a month going out with the boys.
Correct.
You promised that you were not going to do that anymore. Correct?
Correct.
You're not keeping your word.
No, I'm not.
And you asked me, can I afford it?
I want to buy a jacket.
A jacket. Let me take a look at this. Oh, well, I can
know
relate.
you love jackets,
I
Susie.
love jackets. You love jackets. Who doesn't love jackets? Hi, everybody. I'm Suze Orman, and you are watching The Suze Orman Show. Tonight, I want to start with talking to you about the blame game. That's right, the blame game. So many times I talk to people, and they always have a good reason, something to blame the fact on that they're not good with money, something to blame it on. Now, maybe it's that they were raised with parents who didn't know anything about money, or they didn't have an education which educated them about money, or that they're just not good with math. Whatever it may be, you all seem to have really great reasons in your head as to what to blame for the fact that you're not in this financial game, so to speak. Now, that may be fine, but it's not working for you. Because the truth of the matter is, you can blame something all you want, but if you don't change your life, you're the one who is going to suffer financially and emotionally speaking. And what's so sad is you continue to use that blame game in your life. You play it so well all the time, until you can't play it anymore. And why can't you play it anymore? Because you hit rock bottom. You've maxed out your credit cards. You don't have any money anywhere. Everything now has come falling in on you, and now you are forced to make a change. Which brings us to my one-on-one tonight, Jason. Now, he joins me from Chicago. Jason is 42. He's been married to his 48-year-old wife, Mary, for 8 years. They have 2 daughters, ages 4 and 8. Jason is an operations manager for an international shipping company. Mary is a marketing manager. Now, together, they make $145,000 a year, but they have $57,000 of credit card debt, $16,000 in loans from their 401k, and Jason believes he is the cause of this financial fiasco and wrote to me looking for some answers. So, Jason, first of all, welcome to the Suze Orman Show. You know, it's been a long, long time since a married man came on himself to the Suze Orman Show. Now, everybody, we did invite Mary, but she's shy. So Jason is here like the good man that he is by himself. So first, I want to give you kudos for that.
Thank
you. Can you just tell everybody what led you to this moment to bring you on to the Suze Orman Show?
Well, you know, once we saw the credit card debt rising as much as it was, you know, it was a little shocking once it started to total up. And we got into this by, you know, rehabbing a house and, you know, new windows, roof, paint, floors, everything. And then we had 2 kids and we were putting through daycare. And, you know, I was buying gifts for my wife that I probably shouldn't have, that she probably didn't want in the first place. So I was just trying to make everybody happy, and, you know, 3 or 4 years down the line, it just got out of control. And so that's where we are today, and I need some help.
All right, so what I find interesting about what you just said, for all the people that are watching right now, they're going to be sitting at home thinking, well, he spent too much money on his rehab, he did this, but is it not true that you had money in the bank left over in your savings account after you rehabbed your house?
Yes, we did.
All right, so the rehab did not put you in this trouble.
Correct.
Correct. So for us to really get to where you want to get to, I have to get you to stand in your truth. The
Okay.
truth of how you got here, not to make it look good, not to make it all these up reasons. You know, you're just fabricating these things. Yeah,
Right.
you did a rehab, you had money left, but then you continued to spend and spend and spend. Now, before we get into the finances and things like that, I read every word that you did. You had an interview, a one-on-one, so to speak, with one of my producers, Sherry. Want to know what really struck me that broke my heart? You said the following, that Mary, your wife, didn't do enough research on me before she married me, and she
correct.
didn't know what she was getting into,
Correct.
financially speaking, and that maybe if she did and knew more about you, that she would have thought twice.
I think she would have. I mean, you know, there was a history with me ever since I was a kid. You know, it's not that I didn't hide anything from her. I just didn't divulge anything that, you know, I would have answered any question that she had. I just didn't divulge anything. You know.
But it's not to her. It's not to her that you've been lying, because she loves you.
Yeah.
She's not
yeah.
upset with you. She would have
Right.
married you again.
Yeah,
It's you that's upset with you.
that's correct.
Because you've claimed bankruptcy before, correct?
That's correct.
Right. So this has been going on for a long time, where you spend more than you have. And I have found over the years, and I've said this many times, you spend more than when you feel less than.
Correct. That's
So can
true.
you tell me the ways that you feel less than?
Well, you know, just I figured I'd be more successful, you know, from, you know, looking at my family. You know, they've done better than I have financially. I didn't finish college. I'm the only one in my family that didn't. You know, and, you know, I was definitely drinking too much when I was in college. And, you know, it kind of overlapped as I got older and got my first jobs. You know, and so that was the majority of the problem. You know, I just would probably get more depressed than and spending money was the answer to fix that depression. You know, going out and buying a new outfit, or going out and buying a new TV, or buying something that would make me happy when I was younger. You know, and I think it just kind of it spilled into later in life, actually.
Yeah, so what you're really saying is that you feel less than, so therefore you want to show people around you that you're really more, successful than you are.
Sure.
So you do that by defining yourself by the things around you, rather than you defining the things around you.
That's correct. And, you know, I've taken steps to try to get this, you know, I'm driving 2 minivans that are both paid for. You know, it's not like I'm driving the fancy cars I did when I was young. You know, I see that and I realize my mistakes, and, you know, I am changing that now. It's not like I buy the fancy clothes anymore. You know, I don't do that anymore.
Here's where we have to start. We change our ways by our thoughts, our words, and our actions being one. We change our ways by knowing that what we think we should say, what we say we should do, and that we shouldn't break our words. We shouldn't break our promises. We should all be one with
I
who
agree.
we are. You currently, according to your expenses, spend $350 a month going out with the boys.
Correct.
Correct. And when you went over all of your figures to come on to the Suze Orman Show,
Yeah.
you promised Mary,
Yeah.
you promised yourself that you were not going to do that anymore. Correct?
Correct.
All right? And when we talked to Mary, Mary said, Sherry, he's slipping. He's going out with the boys.
Right.
All right, you're not keeping your word.
No, I'm not. You're right.
Then the question is, why? Why is it more important to go out with the boys than for you to keep your word to yourself? That's the question.
I can't give you a good answer. I mean, I don't have one. I mean, I'm going to shut this down. You know, I made a truce with one of my best friends yesterday, and we're shutting it down. I mean, we have to. You know, I've grown up in the same area my whole life, And you know, we've always done it, and it's time to shut it down.
What I really need you to do is I need you to really want to change your life.
Agreed.
Not just say it, not just talk about it, but to really understand that you are 42 years of age.
Right.
And before you know it, you're going to be the big 5-0, and then you're going to be the big 6-0. And the biggest thing you're missing here is time to be able to accumulate money to be okay. Now, while it's great that you are making $145,000 a year between you and Mary, if you can't pay your bills or save money with $145,000 a year coming in, how are you 20 or 25 years from now going to be able to pay those exact same bills with no money coming in whatsoever?
Agreed. I can't.
Then you know what's going to happen, Jason? If I'm still doing this show, then you never know, right? Is that your children will call into this show and they'll say, I'm so worried about my mother and father. I don't have money. They're not able to take care of themselves. What can I do, Susie?
Right.
So if you can't just do this for yourself, can you do it for your kids?
It's done. It's done.
It's done. All right. So then if it's done, here's your action plan that I want you to do.
I'll do it.
Okay? All right.
Got it.
Number one, Mary has also said that she is part of this problem, that it's not all my loving husband. It is me too. And she said she hasn't been involved in the bills. She doesn't do the things that she knows she should do. She's tried, but then it just doesn't happen. So both of you have to be held accountable now for both of you to change your ways.
Will do.
So here's what we're going to do. Promise me you're going to do exactly what I tell you.
It's an easy promise. I can do it.
Easy promise. From this day forward, Mary is going to take over all 100% of bill paying. You are not going to pay one more bill.
Okay.
Mary is actually going to put you on an allowance.
Good.
You are going to stop smoking.
Got it.
Because we can't afford, number one, the $70 a month that you're paying on cigarettes, and let alone the high insurance costs because you're a smoker.
Got it.
All right, all right. Next, Mary is going to take away all your credit cards. She's going to cut them up, and bam, you are not going to use another piece of plastic again. You will only spend the money that is on your debit card and or that she has given you in cash. Now, Jason, I know that you and Mary were thinking about, because it was one of your questions, should you claim bankruptcy?
Right.
The answer to that is no, you should not.
Good. Good.
Okay? Because you are making money. You can turn this around. You don't have to claim bankruptcy. There's hope here.
Okay.
Now, it will take about 5 years.
Okay.
But you can do this. Now, here's probably the hardest thing that you may have to do. I want you to look right in the camera and tell your friends and your wife what you want them to know that you are going to do from this night forward. Go for it.
All right, guys.
And later, when wanting something, ask me, can I afford it?
I'm wanting to purchase an engine for my 1965 Shelby Cobra kit car.
Are you married?
I am not. I have one daughter.
One daughter, and does she like the fact that you're going to do this?
She's the one that inspired me to call you.
Oh, I got it now. You currently, according to your expenses, spend $350 a month going out with the boys.
Correct.
You promised Mary. You promised yourself that you were not going to do that anymore. Correct?
Correct.
You're not keeping your word.
No, I'm not.
Now,
you're right.
Here's probably the hardest thing that you may have to do. Welcome back, everybody. Now, before we went to break, I was talking to Jason, 42 years of age, married to Mary. They have 2 kids. Together, they make about $145,000 a year. $50-some-odd thousand of credit card debt, $3,000 to his name, and the story goes on. So Jason is about to do something that he has never done before. Stand in his truth. So let's get to it. I want you to call every one of your friends. Oh, wait a minute. I'm going to change my mind. I want you to look right in the camera and tell your friends and your wife what you want them to know that you are going to do from this night forward. Go for it.
All right, guys. The party's over. It's been a good long run for 21 years, but we got to shut it down. Our kids are getting older. I got to be there for everybody. I want to live longer. I got to lose weight. I can't go to the golf course anymore and drink beers and play cards. It's just I got to shut it down, and I need you guys' help. Don't ask me to go out. It's hard for me to say no. As much as I love everybody, I just can't do it anymore. I've got to save for my future. I've got to help my kids, and I gotta be a better husband. So, hopefully, you guys can respect my opinion, and follow through with me. Maybe we can all do this together. So, that's all I got.
And to Mary, do you want to say anything?
If I didn't have Mary, I wouldn't be here today. Mary, I'm sorry for what I've done to us. It's not the end of the world. We'll get out of this. Could be worse things, could happen. We wouldn't have our health, our beautiful children. So I apologize to you for going out on Friday nights with the guys. It's over. It's done. It's our anniversary today. And Saturday is going to be a big day for us. It's going to be our last hurrah to go out and have a nice dinner without the kids. And that's the start. So I love you, honey. Thank you.
Oh, so I love that. Just so you know, you're so cute. You can do this, Jason.
I can. It's done.
You can do this. You just have to keep your word. And I just have to say one more thing. Great people aren't defined by the amount of money in their bank accounts, the cars they drive, the clothes they wear, the homes they live in. Their salaries, that isn't what defines and creates a great person. A great person is somebody who lives an honest life, an integrous life, who always does what's right versus what's easy, that comes from their heart. They always do things that are kind and necessary and true. They live an honest life. And in the end, when you can't take a penny with you anyway, right, what you want to do is you want to be able to look back and go, I was a good man.
Yeah.
I was a good husband. I was a good father, and I did the best I could. You're not going to remember the Friday nights out with the boys at the golf club playing poker and drinking beers.
Right.
And the saddest thing is to be on a deathbed and feel like you died a failed man.
Yeah.
And I can tell you that because that's how my father died.
Yeah.
And I don't wish that for you.
No, it's not going to happen.
I don't wish that for you. So we will keep track of you. I can't wait to see you 30 pounds thinner.
At 30, I got to go 60.
All right, you go 60.
Thank you, Susie.
All right,
I appreciate
sweetheart.
it. All right, take care.
Bye-bye.
Hi, Susie. This is Jason from Chicago.
And Mary.
And we just wanted to say thank you very much for everything you did for us on the show. I've stopped going out with the guys on Friday nights. We're excited to save money. We'll get ourselves out of this. We're going to be one of these couples that are going to be back on the show with a great story for you. And of course, Mary's got a few things to share with you as well.
I just want to say thanks so much for helping us out. And I'm trying to take over the bills like you asked us to. So we're working on that, and we're just excited about making some progress. So thanks again.
Up next, you can't afford to miss. Can I afford it?
Hi, Susie. I want to buy a jacket.
I don't know, you're spending more than you're taking home, but fine, keep going.
So I have a $5,800 credit card debt.
That's why, because you're spending more than you're taking home. Well, now this makes sense. Also,
I am looking to buy a 2013 Mercedes C300 4MATIC sedan.
I was just waiting for you to say, hey, I'm going to just take $50,000 out. I'm going to pay for it. That still gives you more than an 8-month emergency fund. But you didn't say that. What do you want to buy?
Mercedes sedan. Business class trip to Thailand. Engine for my Shelby Cobra kit car.
Are you just itching to buy something, and you're looking at it and you're thinking to yourself, but can I afford it? Well, that's what this is all about. This is where you call in. You tell me what it is you want to buy, and I tell you if you can afford it or not. All right, everybody, let's go. Or Eric, what do you want to buy?
Good evening, Susie. Hi. I am looking to buy a 2013 Mercedes C300 4MATIC sedan.
$50,000 for a brand new Mercedes, yeah?
Yeah.
All right. Why do you want to buy this car?
Well, I currently have a 2010 Acura, perfectly good car, but it's a manual transmission, and my wife is always complaining that I lay on the stick too hard. I'm, jerking her back and forth in the front seat. She doesn't like it. She doesn't think it's a smooth ride, and I just want to step up to a higher class car.
Oh,
really, is what I'd
now
like to do.
we've just gotten to the truth.
Yeah.
All that other stuff was just, you know what this is, and I want to step up to a better car, in my
That's
opinion.
right.
That's what he's saying. All right, boyfriend, show me the money.
All right. So, monthly incomes, $14,900. $14,000 is our combined income, and we also have $900 a month from a rental property that we own.
All right, go. Keep going.
Our expenses, $10,780. $2,000 of which is savings that we put aside each month. And we do own our rental property outright, so no mortgage to pay there. Currently, our debt situation, we have a $290,000 mortgage at a 15-year fixed rate of 2.88%. We just refied, so we're very happy with that rate. And I've got approximately $15,000 left on my current car loan at 2.5%. For savings, got about $166,000 liquid and $52,000 in investments, and about $445,000 in retirement.
And how are you going to pay for this?
My plan is to finance the majority of it.
And why would you finance it when you have $166,000 of liquid?
Just like having that cash, just
And how
sitting
many
in the bank.
years are you going to finance it over?
5 years.
5 years. So here's the thing, boyfriend. I was all set to approve you, that you absolutely can't afford it, financially speaking. I was just waiting for you to say, hey, I'm going to just take $50,000 out. I'm going to pay for it. That still gives you more than an 8-month emergency fund. But you didn't say that. You said you were going to finance it over 5 years. And Ms. Orman says you do not buy a car and finance it more than 3 years. So you're denied. You could have afforded it, but the way you wanted to pay for it was wrong. You stick with the car you have until emotionally, you can just write a check for a car like that. Because if you can't write a check for a car like that, you cannot afford it. I don't care what you say. Christine, what do you want to buy?
Hi, Susie. I want to buy a jacket.
A jacket. Let me take a look at this. Oh, well, I can
know
be
you
like,
love jackets,
I
Susie.
love jackets. You love jackets. Who doesn't love jackets? All right.
They're my favorite.
I like that jacket. $160. Girlfriend, show me the money.
Well, Susie, I take home $1,300 a month.
Yeah.
My monthly expenses are $2,275 a month. I live rent free.
Wait, I'm so confused already. You only take home $1,300, but you spend you spend almost $500 more per month for Get Savings. All right, so I don't know. You're spending more than you're taking home, but fine, keep going.
So I have a $5,800 credit card debt.
That's why, because you're spending more than you're taking home. Well, now this makes sense. Go on.
I have a $5,000 student loan. I'm still in college.
Uh-huh.
I have $580 in the savings account. I have $150 in investments. And I have a $25,000 retirement 401k plan.
In a 401k. And how are you going to pay for this?
Well, I was going to use a credit card for $160.
Denied. You're so denied. Do you see the interest rate on your credit cards? The interest rate is 9.2 to 20%, and you're just going to add to that. So then you pay the minimum payment due, because I know you don't have the money to pay more than that. So then this $160 jacket is now tripled at that interest rate. So would you pay almost $520 or $80 or whatever it is for that jacket?
No.
No. Well, guess what? That's why you are denied. Ridiculous. James, what do you want to buy?
Susie, how are you today?
Fabulous, sir. What do you want to buy?
Well, I would like to buy a business class trip to Thailand.
Ooh.
I have a friend from college who is going to be married this coming summer. And I have been to Thailand once before. I flew economy class. I know that it can be kind of, a long trip, kind of draining. So I thought, I'd like to go in style this time.
All right, so $7,000 to go and see your friend get married. Show me the money, and you better have a lot of it.
Oh, I will try, Susie. Well, I'm 29 years old. I have $3,300 a month in take-home.
So you're going to work 2 full months to go.
Yes.
All right, little more than 2 full months. As long as you know that, keep going.
Okay. My expenses are approximately $2,500 a month.
Yep.
Which includes rent and savings.
Yep.
I am fortunate enough to have no debt, and I have approximately $24,000 in liquid savings, approximately $7,000 in taxable investments, and $62,000 in Roth IRAs and 401ks.
All right, and how are you going to pay for this?
Well, I was thinking a couple of the investments actually have been rather flat over the last couple of years.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to do anything, so I thought I'd do about $4,000 worth from the investments and then $3,000 from the liquid savings.
And just go from it that way. James, while I know your best friend or your friend, whoever he is getting married, I know you've been there before. I know you want to do it in style this time. Here's the truth of the matter. Ready for this?
Yes.
Yeah, you know what I'm going to say. I'm going to tell you you are approved, boyfriend, because you have the money to do it. At 29, you are doing just fine. You're okay. Go ahead and do it. Do I still think you should fly economy and save a few $1,000s? I do, but all right, waste it now and fly business class. All right, John, what do you want to buy?
Hi, Susie. Thank you for taking my phone call.
Anytime, John. What do you want to buy?
I'm wanting to purchase an engine for my 1965 Shelby Cobra kit car. The engine I'd like to buy is a 750 horsepower Carroll Shelby-inspired all-aluminum 427 Hemi.
How long have you wanted to buy this all-aluminum 427 Hemi?
Well, probably for the last year, but the Shelby Cobra has been my dream car ever since I was a kid, and if I build a car, I like to make it a one-of-a-kind car.
You betcha. $40,000 to make it a one-of-the-kind car. Are you married?
I am not.
You're not. So this is just you. So you have no kids, nothing?
I have one daughter.
One daughter. And does she like the fact that you're going to do this?
She's the one that inspired me to call you.
Oh, I got it now. All right. John, show me the money.
All right. I currently have an income of $4,117 a month.
Yeah, great. So you're going to work 10 months just to buy this, right? 10 months for you to buy this. 10 months for you to buy this. Go on.
Okay, I have expenses of $2,265 a month. I have zero debt. I own my home outright. And I have liquid savings of $20,000. I have $115,000 in investments and $323,000 in retirement.
And how are you going to pay for this?
With my investment account.
So you're going to bring down your investment account to buy something for your car. I just have to ask you, how many more cars do you have other than this car?
2.
2. So this will be 3 cars that you have all together as a single man, correct?
One of the cars is going to be my daughter's car when she's able to drive.
I got it. So we have a young daughter, and does she have student loan debt? Like, is she going to go to college and have to get loans, or do you have that all paid for in full?
Well, she has $30,000 in college fund.
In a college fund, and that's it, right? Here's the bottom line. You've worked hard, even though I know it's going to cost you 10 months to pay for whatever this thing is. You are denied.
Oh,
John, you are 47 years of age. This is no joke anymore. You are getting older. You don't have near enough in retirement. If you called in and you had these numbers at 29, I'd say, okay, go ahead and do it. But you're not 29. You're not 39. You're about to be 49, then 59. No, you can't do this, boyfriend. It is time for you to be the driver of your financial car so you can get where you want to go. Anyway, what am I going to tell you? All right, want to be part of the Can I Afford It segment? Yes, I know I can get feisty. Just please go to my website, SuzieOrman.com, and you'll find the information that you need to know there to come and play with me right here. And if you make it on air to ask me what you can afford, we're going to send you a T-shirt that says either you've been approved or denied by me. Next, I tackle trending topics in Ask Suze. You didn't have to cash out your 401k dollars to live. You thought you needed to. Big mistake, boyfriend. Welcome back, everybody, to the control room at CNBC headquarters. Want to be with me on the Suze Orman Show? I want you to be, so take a look at your screen, because here's how you can be part of this. You can either send in an email, join me on Facebook, or you can put hashtag Ask Suze in front of your tweet, and it will come right to us, and if we choose it, we will answer it on air. Are you ready? Let's see what's trending right now. From Vimed, 26, that's your name, whatever your name is. My employer doesn't contribute to my 401k. Have a Roth IRA and contribute $5,000 a year. And we have an 8-month emergency fund. What do we do with our 401k? So here's the thing, everybody, is that sometimes you don't have enough money to contribute to your 401k plan and to your Roth IRA and to your emergency fund. Sometimes you have a limited amount of money, but in your case, it seems to be you have more money than you really know what to do with at this point in time. Given that your employer does not contribute to your 401k, or match your 401k, when you put money into your 401k, while it is true that you're not paying taxes on that money, when you go to take it out, you will pay taxes at the ordinary income tax level. Therefore, I rather see you just pay taxes now on that money and invest what you were putting into your 401k into an investment account. Put it into an index fund. Put it into something, because when it sits there and it grows, you do not pay taxes on it either. And then later on, when you sell it, all you do is you pay capital gains tax on it if you kept it for longer than 1 year. So that's what I would be doing. If you're still working for that employer, you can't do anything with your 401k other than just leave it right there. After you're no longer employed by them, you can do an IRA rollover and invest it however you want. But truthfully, you are doing great. Let's see what else is trending. We have Stevie Soprano. I'm almost 32 years old, unemployed since May, and have had to cash out my 401k to live. How do I get my retirement dollars back on track? Stevie, you didn't have to cash out your 401k dollars to live. You thought you needed to because you didn't have a job. You saw a lump sum of money there, so why not use it? Big mistake, boyfriend. And the reason it's a mistake is this. You're young, you're going to owe a 10% tax penalty on it, you're going to owe ordinary income taxes on it. Whatever you took out, chances are you're only going to have remaining maybe 50% of it, 60% of it, so you blew 40%. Also, remember, money in a 401k in retirement plans are protected against bankruptcy. So what were you thinking? If you didn't touch that money, if you knew you couldn't touch that money, you would have found a job. I don't care if that would have meant you were babysitting, walking dogs, waiting tables. You could have done something. So how do you start over? Okay, you learn from these lessons. You just start investing and saving anytime you can. But in the future, if this ever happens to you, don't you dare ever touch money in a 401k plan again. Do you hear me? All right, let's go to webcam. We are going to Dana in South Carolina. Girlfriend, what do you need to know tonight?
Suze, I got to see you in person in Savannah in 2000 and have been following your advice ever since.
Yeah, that's good. I would love Savannah. So ask me your question.
We've been investing for our nephews since they were born, but we didn't invest them in the same stocks. And now one of the accounts has significantly outperformed the other. So what I need to know is, do I balance them out to be fair, or is this just a life lesson on sometimes you pick winners and sometimes you don't?
Yeah, it would be one thing if that was for your money, and for you sometimes you pick winners and sometimes you don't, but not for your nephews, because they're not going to understand that, because that will translate to, I'm a loser, he's a winner. Do you see? So I would absolutely divide them equally. And the real lesson that you're going to teach your nephews is diversification. Sometimes you make more, sometimes you make less, but together, when you average it, this is what you get. Never have it either or, always do both in this situation. All right, let's go back to the studio, but here's what's coming up next. Connie asked me, Susie,
How am I doing?
so her net worth at the age of 40 is about $60,000.
I don't really know what it should be, so I don't know.
Well, truthfully, at the age of 40, I'd like to see you have a net worth of about $300,000 to $400,000.
Oh.
Welcome back to the Suze Orman Show.
Hi, Susie. I'm 40 and single. Although I've taught high school full-time for over 17 years, I feel like I've gotten a late start saving for my future. I've traveled extensively and even lived in Costa Rica for 3 years. My goal is to retire at 60 so I can continue to travel and do yoga retreats in other countries. Susie, how am I doing?
Welcome, Connie. How are you tonight?
I'm great. Hi, Susie.
Oh, so girlfriend, you want to do yoga retreats, yeah?
Yes, I do. I want to travel.
Can you stand on your head?
Yes.
I just wondered. All right. Anyway, Connie, before I tell you how I feel about your finances, if you were going to give yourself a grade as to how you are doing to be able to retire at 60, travel, and do yoga retreats, what grade would you give yourself?
Oh, probably maybe like a C+.
A C+. All right, let's see your money, and then I'll tell you what I've given you. All right, everybody. Connie is 40. She is single. Her retirement, she has $22,528 at the age of 40 in a retirement account. She has $13,800 in an emergency fund. She has nothing in investments. Her home is worth $140,000. However, she does owe $112,500 on the home. She has $4,300 in consumer debt. So her net worth at the age of 40 is about $60,000. Connie, does that surprise you?
I don't really know what it should be, so I don't know.
Well, truthfully, at the age of 40, I'd like to see you have a net worth of about $300,000 to $400,000.
Oh.
Ah. Yeah.
Not so good.
No, not so good. But let's look at your income versus your expenses, okay?
Okay.
All right. Your monthly income is taking home $3,800 a month. You spend $3,137 a month. You do save $500 a month. So you have an excess besides your saving of $163 per month. Does any of that surprise you?
No, that sounds right.
That sounds right. All right, girlfriend, I want you to listen to me. You're 40 years of age. You have $13,000 in an emergency fund, $20,000 in retirement. We have some consumer debt, blah, 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 blah. If I were going to give you a grade, I would give you a D-. In fact, maybe I'd even give you an F. Right?
Oh. Well, I thought I had a lot more in retirement.
Not according to the paperwork that you send in. You know, I think what you're counting on is at the age of 60, you are scheduled to get a pension of $5,100 a month, correct? And you are probably counting on, well, I only need $3,000 a month to live on. After my home is paid off and everything, I won't need that much. So $5,100 a month should do it for me. So I'm doing pretty good, right? That's what you were thinking?
Yeah.
All right, so you told me you wanted to travel and do yoga. 20 years from now, your after-tax income, because you're not really doing enough for retirement and everything, would be about $3,500 a month. That's not enough for you. Do you understand that?
Yeah, I see that.
All right, so now you will get in trouble. So here is your way to an A. You're still going to be able to retire at 60. That's the good news. But,
okay.
All right, but here's what you need to do. First of all, as a single woman, you have to get your must-have documents in order. You don't have a will, you don't have a trust, you don't have an advance directive or durable power of attorney for health care. Next, I want you to try, I know it's not going to be easy, but to refinance your home that you have. Currently, you are paying $900 a month for the mortgages on your home. If you were to wrap everything into a 15-year fixed at a low interest rate, that would drop you to $766 a month. And by the time you were 55, it would be paid for. So then from 55 to 60, you could save that $766 per month. Currently, you are funding a 403B plan that does not match your contribution. I want you to stop funding it. And I want you instead to fund a Roth IRA, and I want you to fund it to the tune of $5,500 a year or whatever the max may happen to be in the future. If you do all of that, that should give you at least $4,000 a month after taxes when you are 60, which gives me a better cushion for you, and then you'll have a little bit more money to do what you're doing, and then other things will kick in as you get older. That's your plan, girlfriend, so get with it. Up next, one more thing that I want you to know. So many of you have to hit rock bottom until you change your financial lives. Welcome back to the Suze Orman Show. That was a fast hour tonight. We're almost at the end of the Suze Orman Show. But before we go, there's still one more thing I want you to know. I started tonight's show by talking about the financial blame game. And then we saw Jason, my one-on-one, come on. And Jason has hit rock bottom. And what's so sad is that so many of you have to hit rock bottom until you change your financial lives, until there's no place else for you to go to get help. But when you're at rock bottom, climbing your way out of it is so much harder than if you just stopped this ridiculousness of doing that which you know you shouldn't be doing with your money, if you just stopped it before you hit rock bottom. So can you just look at all the people that come on the Suze Orman Show and look at those that have hit rock bottom. Look at those where you can identify with them and go, that's me. Hey, that's just like what I'm doing. And don't let it get so bad that you're all the way down and you have to make it all the way back up. The truth of the matter is, there's always something you can do to change your situation while you still have your health. You have years ahead of you. So all I'm asking you to do is, can you just do it now? Don't wait. Don't wait till it's too late. Do you hear me? Now you know. But until next week, there's really only one thing that I want you to remember when it comes to your money, and it is this: people first, then money, then things. Now you stay safe. Bye-bye.